Hey everybody, Sarah Donovan here on day 22. It's Friday. It's the day right before spring break, and I spent a little bit of time with students reading some of their reflections out loud to the class, celebrations of one another's writing and how it impacted them as human beings. And it was a really beautiful moment to notice how the sharing of writing impacts people's writing styles and gives them permission to take risks and be vulnerable in their writing. So it was really great. And now I'm going to sit here for the next hour when my students return, and we're going to watch a movie. So I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of have an opinion about movie days at school. So I showed The Outsiders earlier in the year after we read The Outsiders novel, and we did some analysis of how to adapt the prose into movie form. And we learned some techniques about filming with shots and angles and sounds and diegetic and non-diegetic sounds. And I thought it was pretty good use of time. Today is the last day of spring break, or last day right before spring break, and so the last 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 5 periods of the day are going to be spent watching a movie. So the 8th graders are watching Freedom Writers, and the 7th graders are watching McFarland. So these aren't tied directly to any curriculum. There isn't going to be an assignment. There isn't going to be any discussion about the movie at all. They're sort of just for fillers. And I kind of get it because, some students are absent, so you wouldn't start anything new before break, and we don't want people to miss stuff. But I really only have one student who's absent today. And I do have lots of other things we could do. So that time is, in my opinion, not very well spent for me. We've already turned in grades, so it's not like teachers need an extra period to turn in grades. So I'm kind of puzzled over this. But then even more disturbing is that both of these movies kind of have a white protagonist, upper middle class protagonist, entering communities with people of color. And so it kind of both have this sort of white savior hero storyline that is troubling to me, especially because many of our students are students of color and most of our teachers are white. So I don't know. I feel like it's problematic on a couple levels. One with the movie on a Friday when I feel like we could be doing some writing and we could be picking new books, and that's just for me. But I'm not a teenager, so I don't know. And the other is the content of that movie, and we could do better. And I'm here part-time. I wasn't part of the decision. I did know about the decision a couple days ago, but I didn't say anything. So this is kind of on my mind today. All right, so a little critical, I guess. I have to think about this. But before I go on spring break, because I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep doing the Slice of Life challenge over spring break. I kind of feel like I need to detach or disconnect and then be more present for my husband, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to read you 2 things that are going to make your spring break even better. Okay, so one student wrote, I really appreciated X piece. I wonder why the sky is blue. It was insightful and delivered an important theme. Another thing that was important to me was the way that she presented it to the class. She used a powerful voice that added to the suspense and made me want to do better when I read. X's piece about prisoners walking in circles. Now, I showed Van Gogh's art piece of Prisoners in the Round, and I asked students to kind of write a story about that, an option to write a story, and one student wrote a story about it. And so she read this to the class on one of our Friday open mics, and so one of her classmates said, Lilia's piece about prisoners walking in circles really impacted me the most because of how she related something so seemingly distant like prison with the behaviors of humanity itself. Her piece really helped me see the similarities between distant things and made me more sympathetic. And this one's good. Blank's poem, Love is Love, man, that gave me it gave out the message that love cannot be forced. It's a feeling, and if you ruin it, it can be traumatic. it's a feeling, and if you rush it, it can be traumatic. Sorry. It's almost tied to my life because everyone is getting boyfriends now, and this poem just helped me connect and think more about why we are even dating at this age. I'm sure she's feeling some pressure about that. Okay, one more. Oh, yeah, it's good. As a person, all the writings have impacted me equally, but as a writer, the frequent use of figurative language and syntax has made me try to take more risks with my writing and experiment with different kinds of things. In my opinion, all the shared writing are equal with respect, as well as they have all made me a better writer. Isn't that nice? Okay, so that's how we kind of left our time together, and now, of course, they're going to watch the movie, but I'm not going to go there again. All right, have a great week, and bye.